Hi, my name is Dr. Mattioli with Origins Incubator, where we help providers successfully create and launch a cash-based membership practice. Today, we're going to talk about overwhelm. Overwhelm is something that, as any individual, we experience. I'm going to talk about it from the context of being an entrepreneur and having to wear many different hats throughout the day, in addition to, layered on top of that, this idea about nowadays how much just information we have from experts from all over the place that we are expected to kind of digest and use or not use, or whatever. So what is all that like, and how does that create a state of paralysis analysis where we are just kind of over analyzing, and it's creating this paralysis and not non-action environment. So I'm going to break this up into two different pieces. Number one has to do with the organization piece and background noise. How kind of that's that piece of it that can create a lot of paralysis, and then also information just overload. So number one, with the background noise, whenever and this is kind of what I do personally, what I've found to be helpful for both me and my husband, and then the providers that we coach and help, is if you ever get to a place where you sit down to start a task, and then in your mind you're like, oh my gosh, I need to pay the electric bill, or did I respond to that school email, or I forgot I didn't text back my sister about lunch, or whatever. Like, you're just kind of, your brain is just all over the place. So our brain is constantly trying to find order and trying to find just kind of places for it to kind of evidence to sit and lie. So whenever you feel like you're at that place, what I do is I take out a sheet of paper and I just data dump. I take every single thing that's in my brain of every little thing that I need to do and write it down. And it could be 2 pages long. Everything from personal to business to relationship to self-care to kids to housework, whatever the thing is that's in your head, just write it down. Like empty the dishwasher could be a thing that's like taking up bandwidth, or even just like reach out about your student loans. Like, I need to figure out if I need to consolidate or not. Like, that's a big bandwidth thing that takes up. When you do that, you'll find that they all kind of align in certain categories. Like, some of them could be house related, some of them could be self related, some of them are just clinical education. Like, as a provider, we're always educating ourselves. So like, oh, I need to look up the latest on blank. So clinical, and then just entrepreneur, like how is my business doing? What do I need to do for it? All of those things. So then you kind of move things around into those categories. Um, so you start to batch them a bit. Then you take out your calendar and you look at the times that you have to do things. So one thing is very clear to me, that if you are reacting to your day, like if you get up and you have all these things in your brain that need to be done and there's no order to it, you probably aren't going to get rid of any of that bandwidth. Your day is going to be responding to emails, reacting to portal messages or things that people need. Like, you're just responding to things. You're not kind of like that intentional forward movement isn't really happening. So in your calendar, make sure that you have space for self, house, stuff to do with your kids, like whatever it is, whatever your categories are, you have those blocks of time, and then you take whatever is on that piece of paper and stick it into those blocks of times. Because when you sit down to maybe you're working on creating your membership, and you're like, okay, I did my lesson on membership and now I'm going to make it. And then focusing to do that, your brain is automatically going to be like, but you haven't done, and but what about? So like, all the easy things that come up in your brain, you're going to want to just go and do, because sitting down to create your membership takes a lot of mental energy and focus, and you have to kind of go deep because you're creating this practice. So you need to get into the habit of telling your brain, like, I know I need to pay my kids tuition or whatever, and there's time at noon on Thursday for that. Like there is protected time where I'm doing nothing else. There's nothing else I need to be doing during that time than that. So you'll take your list and you'll prioritize like what needs to be done right now, what can be done a week from now, but you keep those meetings like you would if you were meeting with the most important person in the whole entire world. Like you have to keep those spots. So I really believe in this because it has helped. Personally, it's really helped me not be so distracted because I know I can tell myself, okay, brain, this urgent thing that you're saying I need to be doing right this very second, I can actually do it tomorrow. And there is time that I have reserved for that where I won't feel guilty about doing anything else. So it kind of just like calms down that brain piece of it. So if you have a system similar to this, or if you have found a way to kind of help deal with the overwhelm and all the many tasks that we all have to do on a daily basis, please share with us. But I find this one to be particularly helpful. The next step, the next thing I really want to talk about, and I see it a lot, is just this idea of everybody's an expert and we're all getting advice, and sometimes it's conflicting advice. And when we start our practice, we just want to do it right, um, and we kind of get overwhelmed, and we end up like trying to almost do like a hybrid. Like, let me take, like, this worked for this person, so I'm going to take that, and this worked for this person, so I'm going to take that. And then what ends up is that you don't really have a very clear path moving forward. So it's almost like sometimes when people decide to try a new nutrition plan or diet, like a lot of nutrition plans work if you stick with the plan. You know what I mean? Like if you follow it to completion, a lot of them will lead you to success, but you have to commit to it. So so I encourage you, like a lot of people are involved in a lot of different masterminds. They have a lot of different coaches, a lot of different mentors. And what we teach in the incubator initially is we have this whole like course. The initial course is called the Roots and Soil, where we really encourage our clients to just get centered on what they're trying to create, what kind of life they're trying to create, like what are they trying to build here? Because what's right for me may not be right for them, may not be right for anybody else. So really, really center yourself. And every single mentor, coach, program probably has some benefit. I mean, they almost always do. Like there's something that attracted you to it that is very helpful for you. I just encourage you to not do them all simultaneously. Like complete the complete the one course where you are just focused on doing that one thing. Like really get into the vibe of what it is teaching and create it, and just put your blinders on, like I said before, like be intentional about not being pulled in a million different directions. Just sit with it, see what's going to work for you, what's not going to work for you, take what works for you, and then move on to the next one. Like maybe this course wasn't as strong in marketing, so then you go over to this one over here that's primarily that marketing piece. But just stick with it, complete it, then move on. Try to avoid saying to yourself, well, that worked for that person, so I'm going to just kind of grab it. I think that those are the two main things that result in overwhelm for what I'm seeing, not only with myself but for other people as well. Is they have too much in their brain that needs to be kind of structured output, and then also they're just getting too much input from everybody else. And I'm not saying it's not good information, but just again compartmentalize. Like I think that just the thought of compartmentalizing will probably reduce overwhelm a great deal just by doing that. So if you're a member of the incubator and you feel like you're in that space of paralysis analysis, please reach out to me. Let's have a talk about it. Let's see what's working for you, what's not working, so we can kind of start to move forward, and kind of get out of that space. And if you want to hear more about the incubator, then please sign up for a strategy session where you and I will just chat and see where to go from there. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.